very quick.
Thank you very much. Yes, we just finished the sixth session as a part of program that we presented from GDG Cloud Boston. I think we already have some of the recording available on YouTube, but it would be nice to do it again in person or like live again. And thanks to
yeah, that
for
one. I want to say we do plan to do a in-person graduation. That would be great. But for now, it's online. One of the things in the form is we will ask. So those who are in New York, they know our events are in person. So I don't see a problem if we're online for you to share your face. So we will give an option, which is Roy's suggestion for you to opt in to have camera on when we study together, so that it's more interactive and more engaging for everyone. Is Maddie here?
Roya, I cannot see anymore the slide.
What's that?
The slides I cannot see anymore.
Do you have it now?
I do have the slides. Do you want me to share the slides? Oh, there. I can see the slides.
Yeah, now I can.
Oh, okay.
Okay, perfect. When I went to the second page, I realized that I'm sharing the one that has GDG Cloud Boston, and I went quickly to find this one. So we are presenting this series of ML certificate courses as a part of GDG New York City, which we have Miss Anna, the veteran, the first, like everybody knows her. So shout out to Miss Anna for having us together to be able to learn together. And this is also a great opportunity because she's been a woman peakmaker ambassador forever. And I'm personally amazed by all of the women in tech and with the passion that we have to lift each other up and hold each other's hands. By no means I wanted to say we are not welcoming others, but I just wanted to shout out to all of the women who are standing out despite all of the challenges that one might have in tech. And the picture is from our women in ML and AI, I think in March. if I'm not mistaken. Miss Anna, do you want to add something?
I'm sorry. What is happening in March? Oh,
The
okay.
woman in AI and ML, the photo that you put in there.
So GDG NYC, I see a lot of people from New York City. We are the biggest, baddest GDG because we never stopped during the pandemic, and now we make super efforts to reunite with everyone after 4 years. Our events, we've done multiple Deaf Fest, multiple International Women's Day. We do have an AIML meetup. You can see Roya and myself, and hopefully others in the chat from our meetups at Google and elsewhere. We always look for volunteers, sponsors, speakers. We do have almost weekly events, including a huge AI edition of IO Extended. Make sure to sign up for that. That will be for 400 people in the newest Google space on the water, Pier 57. This is going to be awesome in person. So it doesn't conflict, thankfully, with our weekly meetings. So I'm one of the leads. My other two co-leads, Madonna and Shivika, they're also fantastic women tech makers, ambassadors, and super women in tech. So I think Maddie is also here. She's going to be one of our instructors. Honestly, if I had to choose anyone in the world, I wouldn't choose anyone but Roy and Maddie. I had a chance to get to know them in person. We just spent some truly magic time at IO in California and in Miami for IO Connect. This year, Google chose to do two separate IOs. One was more developer focused in Miami. The one is the traditional IO that runs every year in Mountain View. So they're just super experts and amazing people. So if I were you, I would come to this course just because of them, if no other reason. Maddie, can you say a few words? Yes, no? Oh, you can check out Maddie's bio and on the speaker page, and we'll also I'm sure you have a lot of chances to meet her. So now let's continue on. That was a long intro, but we do a lot. Thank you.
I'm really grateful for all of the nice things that you said about me, but Maddie is definitely one of the best ML and AI scientists. She is really active with the open source community, and she's currently working with Open Minded, and you can find a lot of her work available online. With that being said, let's just continue. So before we can dive in further into the technicality, I wanted to bring up the code of conduct. We don't ask for much. We just want everybody to be nice and respectful and collaborative with each other and just participate. We welcome everybody here. We try to be as inclusive as one possibly can. So just follow the sessions and be nice with each other. Let us know if something happens. Obviously, if there is anything that bothers you, we would be more than happy to help to figure it out. This is also a session for us to go from theoretical and not so much technical view of what you can read in textbooks to what you can really apply in your job market. And currently, with all of the hype about generative AI, I think this is a good time if you want to have a pivot in your career or if you are interested in, if you have been interested in AI, this is a good time to look into these certificates. I like to add that these certificates are really respected in the community, and they can be really used for your next job interview. So far, so good. Do you have any questions? Okay. Okay. And then there is a participation badge. If you follow the link that is on the slides right now, the participation badge would be added to your Google developer profile. I don't know if you are familiar with it, but for everything that you do, you get a badge, and obviously you're required to have your Google developer profile already set up. But if you attend I/O, or if you attend I/O virtually, if you stay up for like all of the sessions, anything that you do, you will get a badge, and it's a nice way to showcase how committed you are to this pathway. So this is a walkthrough of what's going to happen next. So obviously we have the certification journey, and then some spotlight on why and how professional machine learning engineer certificate would be, some sneak peeks on the study group, some certification prep, and then would be happy to answer questions. There will be some sample questions just to have something make us challenge ourselves, and then I will wrap up with some information over next steps. So Google Cloud certification journey. We are trying to have a study group to be able to use all of the go through all of the Cloud Skill Boost courses and labs together. So we are providing you with the credit to be able to attend all of those courses and take all of the labs, and also to be able to give some more information, something that is not readily available in the courses that are online. I want to add that shout out to Google for giving everything for free. Even if you do not have access to the Cloud Skill Boost credits, you can still go through all of the courses and watch all of the videos, and all of the labs, at least those of them that are basically, they do not require a GCP, they are available in a form of a GitHub repository. So if you have a GPU on your own system, or your office which has access to GPUs, you must be able to work on those on your personal machine. And one other thing about these communities is we are trying to bring people together and learn together. By no means I know more than you. I know I do not. I'm learning with you guys, but because of the community, we can stick together and learn together. And if something happens, or there is a problem, we can figure it out all together. For instance, with the GDG Cloud Boston, we realized that a few of the labs have some permission issues. We brought it up to the Quick Lab team, so we are figuring it out. I would like to think that they are more responsive when we are reaching out to them as a team instead of personally. Yes. So Google has multiple basically courses that you can take. Some of them would fall into what we are going to take for this group of courses. For the professional machine learning, there would be about 15 different courses which cover everything from the foundation of machine learning, how to apply some of these machine learning on Google Cloud, and then different type of machine learning from computer vision to natural language processing to recommendation system. And we also touch base on MLOps, and how to go through, how to basically build all of these for production. And do we have any questions so far?
I see one question. Emmanuel asked the question. So now maybe the time to go over what this course is and how it differs from others that you may have been. First of all, let's see, how many graduates do we have from our associate cloud engineer last year? Please be proud, since that was the first in person that was super successful. We got around 40 graduates. Everybody got a voucher. Oh, Pauline is here. How nice. We can, yeah, there's no problem to share the slides. The recording will be shared for sure. So we did run already one. We make great care for everyone to have the best experience. First of all, the fact that this is free doesn't mean that it's not the best thing in the world. Quite the opposite. 75 Googlers have worked on this. That is true. We just, as I said, we just came back from 3 Google conferences. So 75 Googlers work on these courses to make them available for free. That's to say, it's not that you can do this anywhere. There's so many platforms where you can do this on your own, like Pluralsight, Coursera, CloudGuru, and so on. What differs here is, as I said, we have absolute fantastic instructors. During our first study group, we brought amazing guest speakers and inspirational speakers, speakers from Google, from cloud partners, who give you use cases, knowledge, all kinds of other points of view where we enhance what we learn. Of course, the big thing is this is a very intense course, demands a lot of time commitment. So we'll be doing a lot of labs. I personally love the labs, but if they get repetitive, we're definitely going to spice this up. We're going to also be going over sample questions. But at the end of the course, you will be prepared as best as you can to take the next step in your career. ML engineer, you can get a job with that. So this is about impact. We usually do big events with a lot of people. We aim for this to be a small, intimate group with very dedicated and serious people. So now, Roya, now I'd like to go over. I'm done with the form that we came up with, and I want to go over it real quick, and we'll ask everyone to fill it out. Not now. We'll share the link. You'll have time to fill it out until our next session. Maddie has added a few ML questions. Those are optional. We just, both Maddie and Roy are senior ML researchers. They work with data. So this is for data, for us to see where everyone's level is. And this study group does have prerequisites. We welcome everyone. It's just that if you don't have cloud experience or industry experience, you will need to do more labs. The exam is very much based on experience. So if you haven't done things in Google Cloud, you will have a chance during this course. There will be literally hundreds of labs we need to do. As I already posted the learning journey in the session description. As Roy said, there are some slight changes, but nevertheless, you will have many labs to go through. Now, everybody will get a 3-month unlimited access to Cloud Skill Boost. This is absolutely priceless because you need to go through tens and hundreds of labs. Each credit, a lab may be 1 or more credits. Each credit costs $1. So as you can imagine, this can really add up if you're paying for it yourself. So you can go wild. We will obviously follow and put primarily on the spotlight the labs that are part of this journey, but by no means are you limited to those. You can do literally anything in Quick Labs and Cloud Skill Boost. So let me share my screen. Wait, why can't I share my screen? Maybe
Starbucks. Now you
Roya
can.
is sharing. Oh, good. Okay, so I want to share this tab. So we will ask everyone to fill this out. We will be meeting every Thursday from June 1st to August 17th. This is 12 weeks. Why 12 weeks? Because Roya just ran this course and it's supposed to be 6 weeks, but in 6 weeks, it's not possible to do everything. We will require, actually, the prerequisites here are a little bit hard to read, but we will require for you to pass this to go through all the labs. So somebody asked, do you get a certificate at the end? What you get is skill badges. So let's actually go over. Uh, let's go over the learning journey real quickly. We haven't got to this slide, but this is the learning journey. And once you complete this, there you see their skill badges, but everything here is a quest or a lab on Cloud Skill Boost, the formerly known as Quick Labs. So we will be we'll be keeping track of this basically, and what we will require is for you to share your profile, your public profile on Cloud Skill Boost. Why do you want to do this? Well, because just to get the skill badge is already an accomplishment. So you can easily share this on social media. So for you to graduate, we will require all of this to be completed. And this is for you really to be ready for the exam. But at the same time, it is a requirement for everyone to receive a free voucher for the exam. That is, I believe the price is $200. So if you finish all of this, so as you see, it says 6 weeks, but we will take 2 weeks for each week. So it's best to keep on track. Don't fall behind, because if you fall behind, you have 100 things to do before graduation. Not a good situation to be on. This is something I learned from our last study group. I was just taking people's word for it, and at the end had to chase people. I wanted to push everyone to graduate. So this time, no, we'll keep very much on track. That we'll keep track of how far have you got in your learning journey, for you to not lose pace, but also be inspired by where everyone is. So to go back to the form, like I said, we don't want to limit anyone, but there are some labs here that we'll share that are good to do before, and also for you to have industry or cloud experience. So this is pretty straightforward. Name, email. We want to be able to communicate with you. We're not going to be sharing your email for any other reasons other than send you vouchers or updates. We want to know what's your cloud experience, and that you agree to commit 20 hours per week. That is truly the minimum that's needed to complete the learning journey. And of course, we highly encourage you to attend the program sessions. We will take a poll. Everybody who completes this form and becomes part of the 12 weeks study group is expected to come to the session, because that's your chance. If you want to stay ahead, you can complete the assignments ahead and have a chance to ask Roya and Maddie. We will have a dedicated channel. And there is already, I think most of you are part of the Slack, where everybody all over the world who is involved in this Road to Google Developer Certification Study Group is there. So you can connect with learners all over the world, get your questions answered, but we'll also have a dedicated channel just for us. Here's a good one. Now nobody's has their camera on, including me. We want during the sessions to encourage open camera, so you have a chance to opt in for this, so that you are more engaged. People can see your face. That's always better. Every speaker I've seen online usually asks for this, so we ask you also to opt in. This is optional. And now Maddie has built a fantastic multiple choice quiz. Those are, I don't think I marked them as required. We do ask you to fill this out so that we know what your level is for data collection purposes and to know how we can improve in the future. So please answer these multiple choice questions. The last one has some okay, yeah, these are not required. The last one has some images. So
Anna,
everyone is clear. So I will share the link. We'll continue with the presentation. You will have time. You don't have to do this right now. We have another week until our next session. But basically, I will be sharing this and pinning in the chat. And
Anna,
now, Roya, you can continue. Anything else I forgot?
Anna, if you like me, I can show everyone how they can find their profile in Skill Boost. Or
Oh yeah, I will have to,
because I have an account, an old account that I'm not using, and I can show in the camera.
Oh yeah. Just to add, by running the last event, I realized people have multiple personalities and the emails and names. So this is very official. We will be getting vouchers from Google. Like I said, it is for you to show. Of course, the ML certification is the ultimate. There is Google's certificates are the hardest in the industry, the most sought after, and the highest paid. So having the certificate, of course, is unbelievable accomplishment. But what you do along the way is you can see all of it. Well, this is not. Is that the skill badges, Linda?
Yeah, but these
Okay,
are
so
old
Linda, as you can see, Linda is super ahead. So once you share this on LinkedIn or other social media, this is what you have. This is your accomplishment. So I suggest to you to use an email with your real name, so you can share these skill badges, and that accomplishment belongs to you. The other reason to use your email is or your real name is, we do a lot of events at Google. Like I said, we do plan to have a graduation, or maybe in the middle of the course, or we do other events at Google. So Google does require everyone to be signed up with their full name. You cannot have abbreviations or something else, because we got warned last time that people sign with other names or no nicknames or something like that. If you don't do that, basically you won't be allowed. Like I said, we do have a unbelievable IO extended coming up for 400 people, is in Google's most amazing new office on the river. So you will need to share your name with that, your name for that. So basically, these are all reasons to. I don't see. I see here everybody has what sound like real names. So that's absolutely a best practice. Let me just add one thing for the profile. Yes, Linda, please show people how can they make their. By default, I'm not sure this profile is public, but you can
No,
make it
it
public,
is not
right?
public. So basically, you will go in your skill boost when you arrive. You arrive in your main page, and then you have to lucky, and you have to navigate to your profile, which is the third button after the path. And here you will be asked the first time only to make your profile public. Once you make it public, I don't know if you can even turn it off to show you, but that's okay. Anyways, that's how you here you make it public. And then when you click this link, this is a public link that everybody can see it, and that's the link I guess Anna needs to see. And here we can see all your badges and the date when you completed the all your quests. So this is I don't use anymore this one because I have one with my company, and that's but basically.
Oh yeah, so one thing to mention is, so a lot of people said, oh, they already started somewhere. I don't believe there is an option to merge profiles, so please think carefully where you want this to be, because like I said, that is your accomplishment that will last a long time, because we do a lot of certifications. There is
You
Google.
will get all the credits on this account with which you, with the email you log in for this meeting right now. So
Oh yeah, so you have to use the same email. So the email that you sign up here has to be the same that you will get Cloud Skill Boost 3-month access. So you have to sign in with the same email. I think that's in the slides. But let me share now the Google form copied. Linda knows how to pin this, I think, or I may pin it. Oh, okay, it's already pinned. So yes, so in order to be part of this 12-week course, please fill out this form, and we have time until next week. You know how this works when you RSVP, or most of you should know, when you RSVP to the session. So this is informational session. RSVPing today is not going to give you Cloud Skill Boost. Once you RSVP to the actual study group sessions, you automatically get Cloud Skill Boost access. It may take a day or two. I think it's pretty seamless these days. Some people had issues, but whether you have been signed in before or not, that shouldn't be a problem. So now I see Maddie has answered a question. I was looking. So Emmanuel, I hope this answers your question. So what you do along the way are Cloud Skill badges that are part of your public profile.
Anna, if you want me, I can even show people how they can see their credits when they will receive.
Oh yeah, I think that's part of the presentation further on. But actually last year we did have a certificate of accomplishment. That was something that GDG NYC issued for everyone who. Yeah, so that's true. We did have a certificate for everyone who completed the learning journey. We did issue them a certificate in addition to the skill badges. And not only the certificate, but most importantly, we gave everyone a voucher for the exam. So that is, I think, the big prize. I love seeing Shafan here. He's one of our very serious students and graduates. Dennis, is this a Google Meet? This is a Google product that looks like Meet, but is not exactly. In the answer is called Bevy. Very similar features that we use for online meets. The badge is outdated. Well, it's always that's another thing you want to have, developer profile. whether it's this year or last year. Good to have.
Just feedback in YouTube when there is no slides shared. I think for privacy now doesn't share nothing. It's a blank screen. Only so you know, when nothing is shared on the screen in YouTube, it's blank black screen.
Where do I see the discussion? So we have chat and then there is Q&A.
No, the slides. I'm saying if you don't share nothing slides in YouTube, it will be black screen and only the voice.
Oh, I see. No, somebody was asking where can they see the questions. There is a Q&A tab. There's a general chat as well as a Q&A tab. I'm just going through the chat so we didn't miss any questions. I see Maddie.
Can you see here at the top where it says general Q&A? Here is the Q&A for everyone.
That's where you can ask questions. So fantastic. Is there any textbook? That's a... Oh, Samina asked access to a prerequisite form. The form is in the chat and it's also pinned. Another session. Yeah, the session will be weekly on Thursday. So we will have, I know one of the session is during July 4th. I still haven't seen if that's a day off or not. If it's a day off, we may need to, like I said, we have 1 week cushion. Our goal is to finish this before Cloud Next. Cloud Next is Google's biggest conference in San Francisco. It was the biggest one in 2019. They had 40,000 people. I think this year is the first time they're back in person. Will be around 15,000. I.O is Google's OG conference, but that one was limited in this year and past year. So definitely Cloud Next is the biggest Google conference. We want to graduate before then. It begins on August 26th. So if you're going to Cloud Next, which I highly recommend, if you go through a company, you can go on your own. You can purchase a ticket. You can go as a graduate. I don't think we'll have time for you to go as a machine learning certified engineer, but for if you're ahead, you can try for that. We certainly will give you a voucher, and Cloud Next also has preparation courses. Is it required to have a certificate? Absolutely. It helps. If you have Google Cloud Leader, that's a fantastic overview of Google Cloud products. Everything is in what is going to be done is in Google Cloud. The labs are basically a simulation of, not a simulation, you are working in the actual Google Cloud platform. In the console, you get access for free to do what's required, run, deploy models and so on. So you will get experience there. But if you don't have one already, it's good to go through labs like, knowing how to launch a VM and all these other basic things you do in every cloud. Oh, the Slack group. Well, there is no harm to share the link to the Slack. Let me see where the link is to that. But yeah, Roya, let's continue while I find the Slack link.
Definitely. And one can also ask whether it's okay to continue if they are already attending other series. Absolutely. I invited all of the people from Boston group to attend these sessions as well, to have basically their to refresh their mind and also to be able to continue. So there should be no problem. About textbooks, we will be introducing some textbook as a part of book club for general machine learning information, but truth being told, there is no one textbook that I can offer to cover all of the content that we are going through for this session. For each of the courses, there are multiple books that we can go through, but reasonably, I don't think we have enough of time to basically go through multiple books here. The voucher that you are getting would be good for any exam that you want to take. So you can finish the course here, I think, but Miss Anna knows better. But
well,
to the best of my knowledge, the voucher.
That may not be the case. So last year we gave out the Associate Cloud Engineer voucher. That did not work for other certifications, which are there. I think the reason maybe the cloud engineer was $149, I believe, and the professional ML engineer is $199. Whether the $199 voucher works for other professional certifications, I'm not sure, but this is our ML engineer course, and that's the voucher we'll be giving out. So somebody asked, I wasn't, is there a voucher for, I thought Cloud Leader was free. If it's not free, Cloud Leader is not a part of the Road to Google Developer Certificate, is not considered a professional one. I think it's, so as I said, Google certificates are super hard, they're not joke. The reason we're asking for 20-hour commitment is because that's what needed. It's not possible to pass if you don't have experience and don't do the lab. So Cloud Leader is more for, I think Google launched it because the equivalents in Amazon and Microsoft, they're much easier to pass. So the Cloud Leader is fantastic foundational exam, but that one is more for, honestly, it's not that much for developers. It's more for salespeople, for marketing people. It's fantastic for everyone to know what Google does, what their products are, but we do not have voucher, and we do not have this as part of our Road to Google Developer Certification. Is it required? Industry knowledge is very helpful. If you are in data science or in IT, that would be very, very helpful. Oh, I see Maddie answered that. Pardon me. Fantastic.
I want to add that previous ML knowledge are encouraged, but we want to have this event as inclusive as possible. I think that you are at the beginning of the path and you are doubting your own skill set. I strongly encourage you to stay with us. Me and Maddie both trying to pass the knowledge as much as possible. So if you require some one-on-one help, you can send me a message on Twitter or LinkedIn or anywhere else that you can find me. I would be happy to help. Don't be discouraged if you do not have prior information. With that being said, if Miss Anna doesn't have any other point, I can continue.
Yes.
Do you want me to share the screen so I can move, or do you want to share the screen? Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, a spotlight on the journey, and these are the major Google Cloud certifications. As Ms. Anna mentioned, there are a few that are professional, and then there are also associate and leaders. We are here for the machine learning engineer, and in my opinion, they are a little bit more intense because they require more than 3 years of industry experience and hands-on practice with Google Cloud. And as someone who went through all of the course, I take them seriously, but as I mentioned, don't let it to discourage you. Nothing is impossible. It just takes a little bit more if you are more beginner in this path. Professional machine learning engineer is for those of us who are starting and who are interested in machine learning, obviously. And the idea is to allow us to learn how to turn a business problem and have machine learning solution to solve it. But obviously, it comes with a lot of bits and pieces, and this certification tries to glue all of those bits together. Anything from data engineering to monitoring of the ML model. So in this series, of course, we are going through how to basically frame a business problem into an ML solution. We are discussing multiple ML solutions architecture, and this we will go through how to prepare and process the data, how to develop the ML model, and how to make the whole thing basically automated pipeline. But because down the line you would see that okay, it is not enough anymore to just do everything on my own notebook. I need to be able to make it a automated pipeline to remove a lot of overhead. And as always, optimizing, monitoring, and maintaining your solution is absolutely required. Google provides us with a learning journey, and we are on week 1. Again, I'm strongly recommend to take it very seriously, and the reason that we are going as sessions instead of weeks is because the content that one need to cover for each session is really long. The whole journey is a little bit short of 700 items, and it takes more than 100 labs to finish the whole thing, and not they really take time. So if you want to go through each lab, they would require at least like an hour per lab, and the content is getting really intense so quickly. So even if you are further in your journey with ML and AI, maybe you can skim through the first week, but immediately after you get to the week 3 or 4, you really need to sit down and listen again and take note to be able to go through the quizzes. We will be updating these slides. This middle one, hands-on lab, explore machine learning model with explainable AI, it has been removed. So that's one item off the list. And there are some issue with with computer vision labs. We are Google Q, basically quick lab team to sort that out. So as I mentioned, we are at week 1, and the content of this week is for you to just have some hands-off experiments with the machine learning, and also learn a little bit about the BigQuery and big data. Do I have any question up to this point? Miss Anna, can you please share the link for Slack again? The link you shared was not working.
Yes, Anna shared the new link.
I think this slide is something that Miss Anna can explain better, so I would mute myself to have her explain.
Oh, so, yeah. Oh, so I didn't realize I was on mute. So the Slack link, the latest one with all the emoji under it, apparently is working. So people asked, you can do whatever you want, whether you can attend other sessions. Yes, there are many GDGs who run different courses. Roya just wrapped up this same one. If somebody, there was somebody from Turkey, there may be ones that do this in Europe. However, we, like I said, we have top instructors. We'll be inviting guest people. We will plan some kind of experience in person, whether at Google or elsewhere in New York. So we do ask people to be dedicated. So it's for your own good, you know. Dennis said that if you do this daily, you doesn't take more than few hours. I can assure you that even Googlers cannot pass these exams on the first try without preparation, because they are very comprehensive. They cover a lot, so you do need to prepare. Somebody said they used to have exam questions. I think that's further down in the presentation. We won't be going just through labs. We'll be going through sample questions, which are so you are prepared, and you will see what is the format of the exam, how long does it take, so you're prepared. You don't just show up blindly and then have to figure out, and you'll know how much time you can do, you know, you can prep with like a real-time exam and so on. So this will also be part of the course. But to get the exam, you do need to show up and complete all assigned labs. Roya said there was one that didn't work. If by the time we get the one that is session 3, by the time we get to that one, if it's not fixed, we will remove it from the requirements. So no worries. If you, we won't be asking you to complete things that don't work. Cloud architect exam. Yeah, cloud architect exam. So usually, you know, nowadays tech and cloud is super specialized. So the cloud architect, you don't know what you're going to get. You have to know security, networking, Kubernetes, infrastructure. You simply don't know. So even if you're Google, you usually know one part really, really well, but you don't necessarily work with other things in depth. And to pass these exams, you do need to know in depth. They literally ask you, well, how do you do this in Google Cloud? And if you haven't done it multiple times, you can't just guess. And the questions are made that you cannot go and do it once and then you go do it again. You get very different pool of questions, and like I said, you may have emphasis on one or another area. You may get a lot of security and less Kubernetes. So unless you are very well prepared for everything, you are taking chances and not maximizing your options. I'm not sure, Dennis, when you have done this, but the other thing is that those get updated all the time. For example, when Anthos, which is Google's multi-cloud hybrid cloud solution, launched, that wasn't part of it, now is part of it. So this and the reasons they only last 2 years is because things change rapidly. You know, now Google announced avalanche of AI solutions literally a few weeks ago at I/O. So there is a bunch of foundational models in Vertex AI and so on. So things change all the time, including the exam. It's very dynamic. It's not at all something you can game. Or if you try to game it, you might as well spend your time learning. Is it possible to create a Google Doc? So this recording will be available. And like I said, we'll have a Slack channel dedicated. So the Slack that you join is open to everyone who is part of the program, and there are general dedicated channels for ML, for cloud engineer, for different language. That one you can join. We'll have one for New York City where we use for everyone who is in the group, so that then we can answer all the questions, and everybody can read the answer. So that will be one resource you can use. Okay, I think we are up to date.
Thank you, Ms. Anna, for all of the information. There is actually a Slack channel for all of the people who are going through this certificate. And I recently, one of the people who attended GDG Cloud Boston series, they generated a web page to put together all of the questions, which I found really helpful. I'm trying to find a link to the Slack channel so I can share it with you guys here. But that's absolutely an interesting question, and I think we have something to help you with. If there is not any other question, let's just continue. So for the rest of this week, which I think I only have 30 more minutes, I'm going to some of the information that we are going to discuss as of next week or as of next session. So actually next session would be 2 weeks from now. So, but if you have any questions, don't stop. Just shoot me an email or something. I try to be attentive. So, next session, the major part of the work would be about ML problem formation. And the idea behind it is basically how to take a business problem and use ML or any type of AI to enable you to answer that question. When you want to solve a problem with ML, there are a lot of risks and also a lot of business criteria that comes with it. I want you to look at it from two different points of view. Put your scientist hat on and try to look at it from the ML perspective and all of the technical problems that you have to basically be wary of if you wanted to do an ML problem. In the same time, take off that hat and put a business hat on. It requires you to be able to translate your ML knowledge to something that is understandable and tangible for business and marketing people. So suppose you built this really amazing machine that can handle, let's say, any type of detection, right? If you cannot explain that to your business group and you cannot for them to understand, then this information that you have would not be conveyable. So next week, in addition to identifying what type of problem we can solve and how to solve them, we are going to go through some of these criteria that you can explain to people who are on the other side of the table. It's also, we are going through some different architecture of ML that, okay, for each type of problem, what type of architecture can be used. The two graphs that I added to this slide are LSTM and convolutional neural network. If you do not have prior information about them, don't worry. We will go through them in depth. But by the end of these 6 sessions, we want you to be able to look at these and identify them and immediately think about, okay, LSTM, either a current type of model, it would be used for natural language processing, and convolution is immediately rings a bell in your brain to think about image detection and everything that comes with computer vision. everything up to this point was about basically the ML problem. But with all of the good that comes from an ML solution, there is also a lot of risk that would come because of the perception that ML is a black box. So as an ML scientist, when you join the workforce, you need to be aware of all of these problems. For instance, if you do not have a good and balanced data set, you might build a solution that is biased. And a good example of that is, suppose you are building an ML solution for a bank to give loan. If your data is not representative of all of the people who can come and ask for that loan, then you might discriminate. Your model would discriminate against those people who haven't been presented in a training phase. And so you obviously do not want that. It also opens the door for you to investigate the explainability of AI. Because although 5-6 years ago, people were more towards the idea of ML is a black box, and we give it something and we cannot explain what is happening. For so many of the current solutions that we can see, you actually can go back and visualize what is the reason that ML makes a certain decision. For example, in this series of courses, we are going to investigate methods like integrated gradient, which enables you to identify which feature is more important. Or we will go through attention maps, which lets you to know what part of the image basically is more heated to make a decision. On top of all of this information, what we are trying to cover in this series of courses is some of Google components that allow you to be really faster and responsive with your ML solution. If you are already in the field, it is a common practice to start have a Jupyter notebook and put everything in there and try to do everything on your own. But Google actually gives you a lot of software and hardware that makes you independent of a lot of bits and pieces and tiny tasks that can be really boring. Anything from data ingestion and data exploration to the whole concept of having a server to maintain and all of the overhead that comes with making sure that you have the right libraries and right packages. All of them can be sorted out if you are using the right component of GCP. One more thing that we are going to go through in the session after the next session is everything that comes with data. Data ingestion, exploration, data pipeline, and feature engineering. I put a cat in here to remind you of the initial experiment that basically started ML practice. Somewhere in 1900s, a group of scientists sat together. They had a cat and they had a screen in front of the cat, just like what I'm showing you on a screen. And by changing the screen, they basically went through the electrical signal of the cat brain, and they could pick on some pattern by changing the visual stimuli. When you are building a machine learning solution, you need to think that my machine learning solution can be as smart as a cat unless I'm really giving it all of the data that it requires. So if you as a human cannot go through the data and identify what is the pattern that you are expecting the machine to understand, you cannot just throw garbage to the machine and expect it to figure it out. Even if you have this unlimited basically full of data. So it is important to identify that, okay, here are my data, and then to be able to go through that data. This is the messiest part of the work, but it's also the most important, and maybe like 85% of all of the work that you would do as an ML scientist. Thanks to Google, it is not as messy as it could have been if you are just using your Jupyter notebook on your hand. There are a lot of TensorFlow data validation or BigQuery or data prep that you can use in GCP that allows you to basically have all of this information readily at hand. And in addition to that, they allow you to easily do feature engineering. And feature engineering is required because you want to show all of the information that are more meaningful to the system without showing all of the noise and basically extras. So that would be our plan for week 4. The week after that, it gets fancy. That's where we are going through building a model, training and testing and scaling the model. So although this is like 5% of the work, but this is where you have all of the game. And Andre Koparty, in one of his early courses, maybe in 2016, mentioned that ML is like Legos. So in this part of the course, you are going through all of these Lego pieces and all of these layers and try to put them together to understand how we can modify the output, what we should do to have a basically computer vision model, what changes should be made if we want to have a natural language processing model, what are the transformers, what is the embedding space, how to build an embedding space, and how to fuse this model. What if I have a layer that is custom and it's not already there? We are going to investigate how to answer each of these questions and how to make these building blocks work effectively and efficiently together. But building a model would not be enough unless you know how to scale it for major use cases. Because although it has started as you as an ML scientist building this model on your own and then passing it to the next team, right now we are going more toward having ML as a part of MLOps, which takes the name from DevOps. DevOps comes from continuous integration and continuous development and deployment. The idea behind it is that you want to add and you want to modify to your model without actually having your user being notified. So the system gets updated and upgraded constantly without any burden to the customer side. In addition to that, as an ML scientist, you are adding continuous training, and that's what makes DevOps different from MLOps. DevOps is only continuous integration and deployment, but with MLOps, you will have continuous training. In a step 5, we will have to identify where and when we need to do the training again, how to make sure that we do not have drift or shift into the data set, and when it's required to basically change the model and make sure that it is adaptive to the changes in the data. A good example for this adaptation is suppose you are building a recommendation system for a company like Netflix. When you are initially building your model, you have some data and the model would work perfectly. But then a series would come out, something like Bridgerton, and it really changes the response of the user. So then you want your recommendation maybe to bring up some movie like that because everybody's talking about that. So your data has already changed, and that is the time for you to update the model. We would investigate it in week 5 or session 5, in addition to different methods of monitoring, troubleshooting, and fine-tuning your ML solution. And again, to have everything compact and also accessible, we are using Google TFX TensorFlow, which is dedicated for generating a pipeline to make all of these bits and pieces working coherently with each other, and to allow you to make them automated instead of you needing to make every piece of it on your own. So, Maddie, do you want to talk, because we have only 15 minutes, and I think we already covered the certification prep.
Yeah, can folks hear me? Hello, sound check. Hello, hello.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. So thanks everyone for being here. I just wanted to quickly explain the form that you're about to fill out. So as Anna mentioned, we added some optional questions at the end, and it really has two intentions. One is that, based on previous and data, a lot of people end up joining, but very few of them, well, relatively few of them succeed, right? So we're trying to debug what is the problem. Is it because we didn't start at the right level? Are there things we should be doing differently? So one of the reasons we have these questions is to level set and figure out where everyone's at. And the other reason is data about people's motivation and their correlation to certificate completion, right? So really it has two purposes. One is that, it's showing us how motivated you are and how ready you are to be a part of this program. Because as many people mentioned, it's really a lot of work, especially if you don't have daily experience with machine learning. So be ready for a lot of Googling, a lot of homework, and working together on Slack, right? So we highly encourage you to fill out these questions, but they are optional. And it's more like a test of effort and test of your ability to figure things out than test of your knowledge. If you don't feel like you're qualified, that's totally okay. Just do your best. And like I said, our goal is to get as many people to succeed through the program as possible. So even if you don't feel ready, attempt it, ask questions, get on Slack, work with your cohort mates, and hopefully, I'll get you there, right? So the form that has been shared only has the machine learning kind of optional questions. There will be more questions that will be added for Google Cloud specific, right? Once again, all these questions are optional, but I recommend you wait maybe for like an hour or so and then fill out the form. And if you already fill out the form, you may have to do it again because the questions are not in there. All right. So if you have any new questions about what I just said, feel free to put it into the Q&A. Other than that, yeah, thank you for being here.
Anna, Roya.
I'm here. I was just checking the question. There is another session on 8, so there will be weekly on Thursday. My understanding is that we are having them bi-weekly to introduce content, but if take it out. So I suggested to get together and have the camera on to have a dedicated 90 minutes just to work without actually going over the content. If you have input about that, if you think that this is extra, please let us know through the forums. We are still basically adapting this series to your needs and try to curate it to make sure that you get the most benefit out of it. And when is the survey due? As I mentioned, we are trying to take data to make sure that we are giving you the best possible experience. So as soon as possible, but don't worry about it if you cannot make it soon.
And just to jump in and answer that question, try to get the survey completed by Monday if possible, but up till like Wednesday is okay. And like I said, take your time. Feel free to Google, really try to find the answers if you don't know, right? And it doesn't matter if you answer wrong. It's really just for us to collect data and for us to really help, customize the program for people in the cohort, right? And also it's like a relatively like quick gauge of motivation, and also like your current level of like readiness and effort. So no stress, but try and get it done, and take all the time you need up till next Wednesday. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Matthew. So let me just go a little bit further with how the exam would look like before we wrap up this session. And then, okay, so the exam is 2 hours, and unfortunately, there is no accommodation for people whose primary language is not English. But for other type of challenges, there will be some, I would say, extra help. The exam is for 50 multi-choice questions, and you can basically do the exam at your own place, or you can go to the exam centers. It would be a little bit harder to do it at your place. I haven't done it myself, but from what I heard from the community, they will basically ask you to have an empty room and to show everything that is in the room with a camera, and you cannot even carry a pencil and basically a note. But if you go to the center, they provide you with basically pen and paper, which I think would be really helpful, because don't try to answer all of the questions at the same time. You can flag them when you are going through the question, but these are a lot of questions have answers for the other questions. So if you do not know immediately the answer to a question, just mark it, keep some notes, and then continue. Also, this is an exam, so similar to any other multi-choice question, you can just scratch out the answer that you absolutely know that they are not right. So there are always techniques to go through them. I don't want to also undermine that you're required to have experiments. So even with all of the tips and tricks, if you do not have prior experiments, especially in the Google Cloud platform, it would be a lot more challenging to pass the exam. With the voucher, you can do the exam and then you can attempt again, God forbid, if you do not pass the first time, but there is a time requirement between the two exams that you can attend. And yeah, sorry. So we provided you basically with the study plan, and we encourage you to stick to it, because if you fall out, it's really hard to get back. But obviously you have your own schedule, so and try to really use them, and try to all of the questions, at least to the what I saw so far, are based on real business problems. So the question, for example, asks you, hey, you are somebody who works in a startup and you have 10,000 images. What would you do to label them? You need to consider that, okay, I'm a startup, I want to label them. What Google product is useful for me to actually do it? Practice. And there is a practice exam at the end, but we encourage you not to use it immediately and keep it for when you really are ready for the exam, because that's the closest thing that you can find to the real exam that is out there. So for when you are sure, so you can go and really understand where you are standing and if it's safe for you to go and take the real exam. And obviously sharing is caring. Learn with us, learn together, stay with the community. Community is the family that you choose for those of us who are a little bit far from the family. I have 5 more minutes. There are 2 questions that I want to ask, and there are more technical questions, and I'm hesitant to go through those because they require some explanation then. So I pass on going through the question. I would be happy to take any question that you guys have in the last 5 minutes of the session today, and if there is something that you would like to know. And if you do not have any question, I pass them mic to Miss Anna if she wants to add something. Thank you all again for attending this session. I hope you really find everything that you need from this session.
I just updated the questions, so there are a few more now for that are focused on cloud. So if you already filled it out, please take a few minutes to do it again.
Share something on the screen, otherwise YouTube will be blank. There will be nothing to be seen.
Share the screen.
Yeah, some slides or something. Otherwise, the video in YouTube, it's black screen. Yeah.
Well, that's okay. So here are the new questions. After this was the cutoff, now there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions for Google Cloud. So
yeah, and so I know. Oh, sorry to cut you off, Anna. I know some people already submitted. So what's going to happen is, please edit your responses, and that way you'll be able to essentially submit your answers for the additional questions. And for the people who already submitted and they didn't get to see the new questions, we will be emailing them because we did collect their email to let them know, hey, there are new questions, and if you want, you should answer them. Hopefully that makes sense for people. Great.
well, we have 3 minutes. That's pretty good for a first session. I don't see any questions, so yeah, that's great. Thank you for attending. We look forward to, so our next session is scheduled for June 8th. So we hope to see you all there. And yeah, thank you, Linda. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you, Roya. Thank you for this wonderful beginning and learning journey.
Thank you for having.
Oh, people are asking where is Cloud Skill Boost? So the Cloud Skill Boost profile is when you go to Cloud Skill Boost, and create an account. Let me see if I can share my screen. So Cloud Skill Boost is where we will live, basically. Once you register for the next session, you get, I think we didn't go through that, but when you get all the credits, you will see a huge number of credits. This is basically a pool for everyone who is part of the road to Google Developer Certification. So once you RSVP, like Maddie said, we'll email you the form, we'll email you the link with the next session. And when you RSVP to our session, you automatically will get the credits. It may take a day or two, but what you should see is this big number of credits that changes because Google Ads and people take them all the time. But it's basically, like thousands of credits. And you see there is a setting in public profile. So when you go to the public profile and you see your badges there, and you copy and paste that URL. And I mean, that's what we need to see for us to track where you are, but we'll figure something out during the 12 weeks that we want to know where everybody is and keep track. One of the ways is the profile. I know one of our GDEs has made a tracking app. I'll see if we can deploy it to use that, but we want to make sure you're on track and graduate on time. And now we are at time. I don't see any more Q&As. Yeah, you can take the exam 14 days after, and after that, I believe is a few months, so you don't get many chances. So I think it's 6 months after the second try. So it's best to be prepared and do it in one shot. Or 60 days. Okay, that's good. That's better. So the ML certificate group started today, and we are finishing in 12 weeks, which is August 17. This is what we are doing. There are other groups that are doing different things. Yes. What is to pass? It's not known what the percentage is, but it's quite it is high. Oh, Ference is ahead of the curve. You can miss 15 questions. You can go back. So once you finish all your questions, you can go back and change them. So 15 is not bad, but I'm not sure if that's set on stone actually. Great to see you, fam. See you next week. Oh, Miguel is here. I just saw Miguel is here. He's from North Carolina. Bye, everyone.
Thank you all.